Why is it that cartels don't target foreigners or tourists? It brings heat that isn't worth it, and they make money off tourism. Sometimes they do, but it goes to say cartels, like any organized crime, don't typically just kill for the sake of killing. Often they do so because they have a message to send, and often that message is one they want to send to business partners, law enforcement, or governments. The goal is usually to send the message stay in line, or bad things will happen, and killing uninvolved foreigners or tourists often sends a much different message, one cartels typically don't want. Bad things will happen no matter what. Such a message doesn't so much instill compliance, but rather tells others that they may as well fight back. Cartels are, and view themselves as, a business of violent one to enforce territory, revenge and such. When they kill someone, it is generally for some purpose related to the business. Foreigners and tourists generally have nothing to do with that. Mostly when they get caught up in it, it is caught up in a crossfire or the somehow pissed off a loose cannon lower person. Now terrorists, they aren't thinking business, they are looking to inflict fear. So they are the ones who would target those people to create that fear that they think will help their cause in the end. The cult cartel Los Narcosatnicos was only investigated and taken down because of the death of an American. A lot of cartels avoid harming tourists for this reason. Cartels also see tourists as a financial benefit to their communities and to themselves. However, there are a lot of other organized crime and cartel groups that will specifically target tourists either in scams, kidnapping, or murder. Bad for business. Why would you attack your customer base? Sometimes they do. Mostly random encounters or accidents. Most times these foreigners have some relationship with them, but I'd say they don't usually target tourists as it draws attention they don't want, but overall it doesn't fit their modus operandi. They normally want people they can get money constantly from. If you're a foreigner, most likely you have no assets in here, so aside of robbing you there's not much they can do. Most of the resorts are owned by the cartels. Why would they target their own customers? Primarily it's bad for business, as tourists are some of their best customers. It would also bring them unnecessary attention that they really don't want. And in most instances they have a quiet agreement where if their operations stay within the confines of a certain area or within certain limits, the authorities will quietly permit them function provided that they don't cause trouble or havoc to the public at large. It's the kind of situation where neither side could really win, so they make compromises that they don't want to upset through an international incident. Not too long ago there was a situation where a couple of American tourists were killed by members of a cartel. The leader of the cartel had the responsible people over to the authorities. You kill the wrong US, Russian, Israeli, German, British etc. tourist, and you end up mysteriously dead, all of a sudden on the run after years of people looking the other way. Couple cocaine facilities catch fire and various. Ransom is big business, but the wrong person drugs, human trafficking to and across the border and weapons trafficking seem to make a decent profit. This is based off some random docuseries on Mexican and American cartels, so I'm sure it's only part of the reason and there's more to it. They do. If you are on a resort, you're safe because there's a financial agreement between the cartel and resort that the resort is off limits. If you venture off the resort for a fun night out, there's no agreement. You're on your own. I've done it, but probably a stupid decision that I made. It is not in the business interest or time interest of the cartel to target you as a foreigner or tourist. Are you on vacation with your family and minding your business? All good. Are you a bunch of frat boys trying to score some blow-weed hookers? In most cases you're good. The problem is, like other posters have mentioned, the police, recognizing you in an area maybe you shouldn't be, taking advantage of you. Buying drugs, illicit materials and trying to rip off the dealers will also get you into trouble as well. But it's not like Fox News saying there are armored convoys on every resort block shaking down tourists, and it's not like your mechanic's uncle best friend telling you no pasa nada. Be aware, be vigilant, and remember you are not in the USA, Europe anymore, so behave accordingly. Tourists die because they get caught in the middle of turf wars, not because they are the target. Who said they don't? Because they are their customers, not their rivals. Outside of potential sales, they aren't worth the hassle and can kill one of their legitimate businesses if tourists stop coming. A great way to get international heat is for a tourist to die in your conflict. They do indirectly. Hotels and resorts are required to pay cartels to stay away. They show up to collect, and if the owners don't have their money they get violent. Cartels own the resorts the tourists are staying in. Harming the tourists are bad for business. Also, they don't want the Mexican police government to be pressured by foreign governments to investigate and crack down on crime on their citizens. They are not religious fundamentalists, they want money and power. Killing random foreigners doesn't give anywhere near as much of a benefit, as it does cause problems of foreign governments getting angry, and tourists getting scared and staying away.